Listen to that. You hear the gunfire in the distance? It might seem out of touch, but I've always found gunfire and bombing in the distance to be a good sign. It means they haven't made it here yet. Come on, how about a shot, baby? How about a shot? See, when it stops, it's a 50-50 shot. And on a 50-50 shot, my experience, I'll always get it wrong. When it stops, it's a 50-50 shot. Either they're not coming anymore, and it's done. The guys on your side are cleaning their rifles. They're like, oh, that was a job well done. And, or it means that the guys on your side in the distance have just all been killed off. And these guys are still coming. 50-50 shot. I don't hear gunfire anymore. Huh. I've talked about this jacket plenty. Oh. But, oh, don't look at that. Wait a minute. Oh, don't look at that. Yeah, you're supposed to look at that. Yes, my retarded ass signed up. And but at the same time, my retarded ass got out the Army lapel pin. It always turns upside down. I don't know why that is, but there it is. Oh, no combat patch on right sleeve. See, this jacket is all worn. I've got another one that's pristine and fresh because they issued us 2 of these Army field jackets, woodland camouflage and basic training. And all through the military, I think I only got to wear this once. They just, they never allowed us to wear them. They gave us stuff that was warmer, but you have to be in uniform. And in North Carolina, it doesn't matter. It's like 30 degrees or like, doesn't matter. You're not wearing that jacket. And so you're walking around in your shirt going, Jesus, they're trying to freeze us out. But, so you get 2. And when I got back from Iraq, there was a mandate that you had to get combat patches sewn onto all of your uniforms, but it was only like a month and a half before I got out that I got back. And I was like, I don't give a shit about any of this honor stuff. I had combat patches put on my Class A uniforms because you had to stand there in formations and all that. And I had them on a couple of my BDU shirts, battle dress uniform, that I had to wear around. But in the inspection locker, your left shoulder is always facing out because that's the one with the patch on it, unless you've been to war, and then you got both. But well, for the most part, you only have that one patch, and it has to be facing out. And when they come through in inspections, they don't take your jackets out and turn them around to make sure that you got your combat patch sewn on. So I just spent as little money as possible to get by. Why bother? Honor, glory, You see what happened to Alexander the Great's men in the end, Iron Maiden song. They were tired of the glory and the honor and the glory and the fighting and shit like that. They said, fuck this, we're not going any further. And then he died of the flu. He got the corona. Tired of the honor, the glory, and torment, the fighting, whatever. But, so this is the jacket that went with me. I chose one to wear out. This is the one that went with me to fish Alaska. I always took my military stuff because it was durable when I went on excursions. It's the one that walked around the mountains in Tibet. You'll see pictures of me in this jacket, and people would come up out of they must have thought the military was approaching because I'd be all alone. I'd walk away from everybody on this journey around this sacred mountain, a pilgrimage, you know. I would be the only white dude out there, and I'm walking around in military gear, and people are coming up there like, what the fuck, the Americans are coming, the British are coming, whoever, the Nazis, somebody that wants to fuck us up. It might even be Mao's men. He's fucking genetically producing white super soldiers to come and make sure we have a picture of Mao on the wall when they stop in to eat your food. Our food, whoever. But so this jacket went with me to China, and both times. And the second time I got back, you may look at these and you go, what the fuck? That doesn't belong on a U.S. military army lapel or shoulder board. And if you look, they're upside down. Thing is, there was one place I used to walk by in China on the way home. They've got military bases all over in Zhengzhou. In these towns, they've got military posts, and they'll have a guy standing out there all serious, but they're not very good. You look at him long enough, and you see him just going, you know they can't shovel snow because you've seen them walking down the streets. They can't march. They don't keep step together. What that means to me is that it's not a military that you really need to worry about because there isn't strong discipline. These are the rich kids that the rich parents paid somebody off to get into the military because there aren't that many jobs or something like that, and it's considered respectable to be in the military, but they're just snotty-nosed kids. Excuse me. And I would walk by this one base all the time coming back from the bar to where I was staying, and there was this guy. My Chinese was getting pretty good at the time. And this is the thing. 我会告诉你，我不是太好的。 See, that's where your mind splits. I forget. I just spoke Chinese to you. Now I've got to translate it because it comes from different parts of the mind. Languages evidently go all over the fucking place. They need space. They don't have time to be in with your original language. But I said something like, you know, oh, I think I said I speak Chinese. 我会告诉你. Oh, I said I can tell you. 我会告诉你. I said that I can tell you I'm not too good. I'm better than other people. I'm not one of these people that say I'm fluent because 在中国他们 believe 他们说我是 I've lost it all. I haven't lost it all, but I'm not in a conversation that's good for it. I can't even think of English words now. You see that? I got stuck between English and Chinese and I lost track of I can't even translate myself anymore. But what I'm saying is these people that say they're fluent in Chinese, they always say, oh yeah, so-and-so is fluent. And you go start talking to them and you understand everything they're saying, but they don't understand everything you're saying. Or they do understand you, but they're getting their words wrong and they're not fluent. You got to be able to talk about being a damn psychologist or something, or Bing Jia Mo, Bing Ma Zhong, whatever the hell it is, the Terracotta Warriors. You got to be able to have total conversation before you call yourself fluent, and I can't do that. But I am better than those that tell everybody they're fluent, because I've been to the end of the Great Wall, the beginning of the Great Wall, what they would think of as the end, where it just peters out, but it's where it begins. I've been there. I've been on trains. I've traveled alone for 2 weeks, and I can speak to people in all kinds of different dialects and everything, because they've got like 32 different ethnicities, and every town has its own dialect. That's why they have Chinese at the bottom of the screen written, and all these Chinese things. You're going, why the hell are they writing Chinese down there? You know, and fucking, I can't read that. It's so that they can read it, because their language is so different. But I am able to slide through different places and figure out the words and things. But coming by the military post, there was always that guy, and I'd start talking to him, and he'd start talking to me. He was excited. You know, there's nothing like a 6-footer walking around with blonde hair and blue eyes and curls and hair on his chest and arms. They're like, this guy's a freak. They get excited by that. They're not used to that. And when I got back after the second trip, I reached into the pocket of his jacket sometime later. Oh, look at that. And I looked into my jacket pocket, and I felt these shoulder boards. I said, what the hell is that? And I had a vague memory of being blacked out and talking to that guy the one night. And somebody, he had given me these. He gave me his shoulder boards as a gift. I was like, that's pretty neat. And being a person that was an enlisted member 4 in the United States military, Army, that could have been a corporal. And that's almost the way that is. So I said, they belong on my jacket. And it goes the opposite way for the military. In the Chinese government, they have the boards, the little chevron is supposed to be facing a different way. It's not an actual chevron, but we're not going to get into that. It's supposed to be facing the other way. But for the U.S. military, it's suited that of a corporal, and so I put them on. So all I'm saying is, you can look at these up there all day long, and you see that guy's not real. But I'm more real than most people, because as it turns out, I'm able to communicate and I enjoy the company of others. And when I'm talking to people from Iran in the Shanghai airport, and we keep slipping between English and Chinese and Spanish, and we're not understanding each other with our ears, but we understand with our feelings what we're talking about. And that's the thing. Everybody says the Chinese. I went over there without any kind of predisposed notion about the Chinese because I don't watch the news to try and build a hatred for humanity. I pay attention to none of that, really, for the most part. I've started lately, just for my own personal needs. I need to know what's coming. However, I went there with no predisposed notion. And I've found everywhere I've ever been, everyone I've ever met, the people are decent. It's the governments that suck. You hear the gunfire in the distance? There's still a fight going on. But it's not between you and the guy across the sea. What you need to pay attention to is the bigger fight. It's the one between you and your neighbor. Because they're still coming. Give me a shot. Give me a drink. Give me a shot. Well, I guess they must be cleaning their weapons again, thinking they won again. And the next wave is coming through and they don't know it yet. Nothing better than gunfire in the distance.